Nothing much. What are you up to?
Not much. Just got back in with the team and just gonna chill for the night.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just got done with my first practice after our long break that we had. So
How'd that go?
went pretty well. I mean, a lot of people are rusty still, but I mean, it is what it is for the first practice.
Yeah, at least you guys are back in the gym.
Yep, exactly. All right, you want to get started?
Yeah, we can get started.
Okay, cool. So the first thing I ask all my guests is about their background. So how did you get into basketball from the start?
I was kind of born into it. My grandpa and uncle both played at Louisville, and then my mom also played basketball in college. So I was always around it. And it was definitely like a push, like during my upbringing to play basketball, and I fell in love with it really early and just kept playing. So it was kind of bred in my family.
Mm-hmm. How did you I mean, were those the main people, or were there other athletes that motivated you coming up?
Like from outside the family, I'm a big LeBron guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved watching LeBron. I was a really big fan of when I was coming into it, 6, 7, 8. I always turning on Sports Center and watching him dunk and stuff. I always thought that was really cool to see somebody be able to be that athletic and things like that. So I watched a lot of him. I like Larry Bird. Being a white dude, I guess, playing basketball. It's cool seeing people like that compete at such a high level. And yeah, I really enjoyed watching his whole highlights and hearing stories that my parents and stuff would tell about him. So those were probably two of mine growing up.
Gotcha. So a lot of college basketball players notice whenever they're in high school that turning point that they actually know that they're probably going to be able to play college basketball. When was that turning point for you, and where you took basketball more serious and that you could tell that you're going to play in the next level?
I always took it serious. I always, of course, had dreams of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
From a very young age, and I think a pivotal moment for me was junior year. My team made it to the state tournament, and in the first round, I had a really good game. I think I had 17 points, 7 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up winning that game, and Valdosta State, which is a high major Division II school, reached out to me after that game. So that was some of my first interaction with coaches. So when I was able to get that phone call, through that experience, I kind of knew that it was the start of my recruiting process, and it just started to feel a little bit more real, and time to lock in and try to get other schools interested in me. And then through my senior year, I think that was kind of my breakout year. I fought a lot of injuries throughout high school, so my senior year was kind of me breaking out, and just throughout that whole season, my interest in college coaches' minds just blew up, sort of. So,
growing up, you talked about LeBron a little bit. Who are some other athletes? It doesn't have to be basketball, but athletes in general who inspired you.
I used to be big into golf, surprisingly, and I used to love Tiger Woods. Before basketball picked up, I used to go to the driving range and go hit golf balls a lot with my grandpa. And I had the whole Tiger Woods Nike golf set. I always loved going out there and playing golf with my grandpa. So Tiger Woods was definitely up there. I like Peyton Manning in the NFL. I never really got into any sports heavily like I did basketball, but of course, living in Shelbyville, which is really close to Louisville, Indianapolis is probably the closest sports city. So I like the Colts and Peyton Manning for sure.
You living in Kentucky, did that and being a Louisville fan, did that cause any I mean, I don't even know what the word is, but did you feel different at moments with that at all? Because there are a lot of Kentucky fans.
There are a lot of Kentucky fans, and especially where I'm at, I'm definitely in the minority when it comes to being a Louisville fan, but I mean, my family's really close, and being like that close knit, I was always around like the Louisville like kind of fan base. My grandpa had season tickets for basketball and football games, so I'd go to about every home game with him, which was always a really cool experience. So I was able to grow up and watch all those old Louisville teams, and I actually got to go to the national championship game when they won it, even though it doesn't count anymore to everybody in America, but we still count it.
Yeah.
So I was able to go to that, and that was a really cool experience. But yeah, I remember in elementary school there was always those like petty arguments about Kentucky Louisville, and I was always kind of the odd man out trying to defend my side.
So you ended up going to Kentucky Wesleyan for 2 years. Talk to me about that a little bit. How was that?
It was always my dream to go as high as I could go. And looking back, I was kind of ignorant throughout my whole recruiting process, like with my own like mental standpoint on it. And I wish I would have explored other options, but I don't know. It was fun. I liked the school, and I liked my teammates, and I grew friendships with them, and but it just wasn't the right fit for me. I was able to play in some games and have good moments, but it was just never anything consistent, and just wasn't really believed in or given a chance to be able to be myself and be able to thrive like I envisioned myself to be. So everything but basketball there was great. So, but obviously I ended up deciding to transfer because of that reason. I'm glad I did.
And that gets me to a big turning point that I talked to people about who transferred. When do you think was the most reasonable time to know that all right, this is the best move for me, and it's very logical for people to see that I'm transferring?
My freshman year, I started off starting as a freshman, which was super huge for me, and I always thought that was super cool, and to be able to work so hard and just see it pay off like that. Throughout my freshman year, I mean, just like any other freshman, it's like a roller coaster. You have a lot of highs and a lot of lows. So getting through that year, I thought I could tough it out. I kind of ignored red signs, like red flags, with the coaches and just how they were using me. And then in my sophomore year, I had a game against Oakland City, which is now in the River States Conference. We played against them, and I ended up having a pretty good game. I think I had 11.7 rebounds. And I was the first guy off the bench, so I thought that was my turning point. I was going to be able to, start playing like myself, being me. And then I didn't get any more minutes after that game. So I remember talking to my parents and stuff about just how miserable I was, and how much I disliked it there and disliked everything that was going on. So I think about mid-season, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be there, and it was just kind of me having to follow through on that, on what I was thinking. So,
gotcha. Moving on from that, what is your favorite moment playing the sport? You can talk about it a little bit.
Ooh, that's tough. Man. Ooh, that's a tough one. There's a lot of good moments. I say my senior year of high school, I had 36 points against Kurt Lewis, who's now at Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning that game. And I had a phenomenal game that game. I was on cloud nine afterwards. That has to be one of them. Senior night, got my first dunk in a high school game. Which is ironic it happened then, but I was so scared in high school to go up and dunk. So I waited till senior night, and I just I had to do it. It was really weak, but it was still so close to me. And then I'd say, even though this is pretty recent, against Brescia, I had 23 points, which is my first 20-point game in college.
Yeah.
So that was a super high moment for me, and I was really ecstatic after that game. Of course, getting a win too was great. But yeah, there's a lot of moments I can think of that were really high moments in my career. So.
Mm-hmm. I didn't check your all's schedule, but did you all play any exhibition games like with Division 1 players Division 1 teams at Kentucky Wesleyan?
We did. My freshman year, our first game of the year was against Xavier.
Oh, okay.
So, and I started that game. Of course, back then I was fresh out of high school, barely had any weight on me. I was 6'5", probably 195, 200. And I had to guard Tyree Jones. He's 6'8", 280. First possession, he spun off me in the post and back scratched.
Wow.
He didn't do it on me, but that was my first ever college experience. So I was like, geez, I'm in for a long ride. But we played Western. We played Evansville.
Oh yeah.
Which beat Kentucky, obviously.
Yeah.
I'll throw that in there. This little guy. We actually played well against them. I had a pretty good game against Western and Evansville. And then my sophomore year, we played Sanford. And then we played Western as well. And we played St. Louis. Okay. So they typically played Louisville, but I think that contract ended the year I got there, so I never got to play against them. But yeah, we played some D1 teams, and they obviously blew us out every time. So, but it was so cool to play on those big courts. And
yeah, I was about to ask about that. Like, did you get intimidated at all by the big atmosphere?
My freshman year, I did for sure against Xavier, being my first game, and I was super nervous to start, and because in high school, Xavier offered me a preferred walk-on spot, and I was thinking about doing that instead. So me going into it thinking like that, I wanted to play really well and show the coaches, whatever. But I played horrible, and the student section there was crazy. There's a lot of fans there, and it was just, I think we ended up losing by 30 or something. And I didn't play well at all, and I just had the butterflies the whole game. So
yeah, get that, definitely. Who are some of your favorite players to watch nowadays?
Still LeBron.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the bubble, watching him win his fourth one. That was super cool. I like Luka a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Luka's super smooth. I remember watching him when he was overseas, and one of my teachers in high school was a big Suns fan. And I told him that the Suns should have drafted Luka way before the draft even happened. And he was hating on that take. But now, Luka's completely killing it now.
Yeah. So
I really like him. I started liking Damian Lillard a little bit. I still, I'm still tight with LeBron, and I stay by his side. So I'm gonna be sad when he retires, but it don't look like he'll do it anytime soon. He's still playing really well. So
yeah, definitely. So I mean, you've talked about LeBron a good amount. You want to explain to yourself explain yourself to the audience a little bit why you'd probably pick LeBron over Jordan in the LeBron-Jordan debate?
I just look at the whole game. I mean, he does everything. Obviously, people think he lacks the killer instinct because he'll pass the ball at the end of the game if somebody else is open, which that's just good basketball in my opinion. But obviously, it's really close, and they always bring up the ring debate, but some of those teams LeBron was on, they had no business being in the finals.
Oh, no doubt.
And of course, going up against the Warriors, 4 times, I think? 3 or 4 times?
I think it's 4.
4, yeah. Those teams were, obviously 73-9. And then you had Kevin Durant. I don't think anybody's really competing with that unless if they get injured. So, I think LeBron's going to lead and most points all time. He's going to be up there in assists, rebounds, blocks, steals. He's just so complete, and he's been doing it for 18 years now, which is insanity to be averaging 28, 8, and 8 when you're 36. So
yeah,
so that's super wild to me.
Yeah. Different subject here. What do you see yourself doing after playing college basketball?
Hopefully, if everything goes well, I thought about playing overseas, the opportunity comes. Playing pro is always it's a dream of any kid.
Yeah.
Growing up playing basketball. Obviously, I'm not NBA talent, so going overseas would for sure be really cool. But if not, right now I'm majoring in sports management and business. Just doing something with those degrees that allows me to have a good living and being able to start a family and be comfortable with a salary and house and all that stuff when I'm older, for sure. But right now I'm kind of up in the air. But playing professional basketball in a country, in a different country would be really cool. I think I'd jump all over that.
Oh, definitely. You said that you went to the Louisville National Championship game. That's probably up there for you. But do you have any other moments where you have a favorite moment watching basketball or any other sport? Like you can either be in person or on TV.
Watching LeBron come back from 3-1. I know I've been talking about LeBron a lot, but I think I cried real tears during that Game 7 when they won.
It.
So I'll still tune in on YouTube and go back and watch that game. A couple of times a year. I was at my grandparents' house watching it in their kitchen on a small TV. But that was just such a good game, and definitely a nail biter, and just for him to be able to do that is just crazy to me. So that's definitely up there. Going to the games, like Louisville games when I was 8, at Freedom Hall, watching those games, those were always super cool for me. I always got like all the players' autographs and stuff before the games when they'd run out of the tunnels, which was, I thought those guys were just like the best players on the planet.
Yeah.
And just being able to like interact with them was always super cool. So I'd put that up there too.
So you've been playing college basketball, you played high school basketball, and you played youth basketball. Do you want to see any changes, like rule changes or anything like that to any level of basketball?
Like what rules I would change?
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do wristbands in like youth leagues to where you have to guard the guy with the same color wristband. I remember we had to do that. I always thought that was a kind of dumb rule, but with the NAIA, I like wearing one leg sleeve, like cut off one side of my leggings, and apparently you're not allowed to do that anymore. So I just switched to calf sleeve this season, which I don't mind. I like it now, but I'd change that one probably.
Gotcha.
I just think that's a rule that's kind of annoying. But I mean, besides that,
yeah, I hardly paid attention to that one. Really, I didn't really notice that. But so you're a big guy, so this perfect question for you. So you can step out and shoot it, and a lot of the days like now with basketball teams, they're asking big guys to step out and shoot it a good amount more than they're playing inside. Do you see the traditional big man like just being out of the picture, or do you think that it can still be utilized pretty well?
I think it depends on the system and like level you're at. Especially like teams we play against, there's not a lot of big guys that can step out and shoot. But I think it has become a little bit obsolete. One thing that helped me was I was a late grower, so middle school all the way through my junior year, I was playing shooting guard, small forward. So I was on the perimeter with the ball in my hands a lot, shooting, handling the ball like up on the press. So I was able to retain a lot of those guard skills. And then now being 6'5", 6'6", now I developed a post game to where I can go bang down low, and then if a big's giving me a shot opportunity, I can be able to knock down an open three, or or make the defense come out and have to guard me, which makes it harder for big guys to stay in front of me since I still do have guard skills. So I do things like a traditional big. It's not really used as much anymore, but I for sure like going down low and and banging with somebody down on the post, because I just think it's a lot easier to score that way than standing out and shooting the ball the whole time. So I like to do both.
Mm-hmm. The NCAA basketball season's been a couple weeks in. Do you see any clear favorite for a national championship yet?
I have no idea. Kentucky's not looking very solid.
Yeah, they're definitely not.
I thought they're going to be really good coming into the year. I think they'll
really
get it together, though. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Illinois has been good.
Yeah.
From games I've watched. Gonzaga looks good.
They look very good.
Yeah, Jalen Suggs is a really good player.
Yeah.
I haven't really been paying attention to it much. I've been watching a lot of Western Kentucky basketball. Of course, one of my high school teammates plays there.
I have too.
So I've been watching them. They look pretty good. I've watched a little bit of some Louisville games, but during basketball season, I just try to focus on my team, which is Asbury, and I like to. I put a lot of my focus into that and making sure we look good and we win games and compete and stuff. So I haven't gotten after high school. I kind of got out of watching a lot of college games just because I was kind of living that life and focused on what teams we were playing next and things like that. So.
Mm-hmm. So were McKnight and Marcellus Vail in high school, like whenever you were a senior?
They're sophomores. So they both started my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
So Davion started his freshman year when we made it to the state tournament.
Gotcha.
And he's improved so much since then.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he was good back then, but now he's expanded his game to where he can knock down jump shots and he's doing really well as a freshman up at Western.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy for him, and Marcellus is doing his thing at Sanford. So kudos to both those guys.
Yeah.
For the success they're having with their programs this year.
Mm-hmm. Could you see the potential of them going where they were right now, like as sophomores, or no?
For sure, Davion.
Mm-hmm.
Davion was already getting looks. I think he had an offer from Winthrop or Lipscomb, one of those. I think it was Winthrop. Going into his sophomore year, which was my senior year, so I definitely saw that potential in him, and being able to lead a team to the Elite Eight in the state tournament as a freshman definitely speaks volumes to how he was.
Oh yeah.
As a player, he's just always super under control. Nothing phases him. He can miss 12 shots, have 9 turnovers, and he'll still be able to get through that and be able to make big plays when you need him to. So I definitely always saw it in him. Marcellus has always been a really good shooter. So once other parts of his game has evolved with his size and the athleticism he has at the 2 spot, definitely could see it in him as well.
Mm-hmm. If you could pick a starting 5 right now for the NBA, who would you pick?
All-time players or just current?
Just current. I'll probably ask you all time after that.
LeBron at the 1. He doesn't traditionally run it. He can.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Steph at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty small. Luke at the 3. KD at the 4. And I'll put AD at the 5.
I like that. Because they can all shoot, definitely.
You can. You put all those guys around LeBron, you can't really...
space the floor.
Yeah, can't really help off, so it's just wide open lane for him.
Mm-hmm. Who would your all-time team be?
Let's go Magic at the 1. Michael Jordan at the 2. LeBron at the 3. Hakeem at the 4. And do Shaq at the 5.
That's pretty good right there.
Yeah, no one could guard Shaq in his prime. He was so big.
those old-time centers are definitely tough to choose between because you've got them two.
I love watching Hakeem.
Yeah.
He can move so well.
His footwork is definitely something that anybody can pick up on. Like,
oh yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah,
all those like his old highlights, like the dream shake and stuff. Like, he can move so well for a big guy.
Did you whenever you were coming up and like whenever you were getting bigger, did you like who were you watching a bunch of to try to imitate their moves?
So I never watched many big guys. Growing up, I've always been a guard, so when I was kind of transitioning over to the big spot, I didn't really want to accept it because it's not glorified as much as like a guard that is breaking somebody down off the dribble and going to get like creating their own buckets. Even though that you create something off the post, it's obviously not as flashy or anything like that. They're kind of harder buckets to come by. So I never really watched much. I just remember my grandpa put me through a lot of drills, a lot of post work that allowed me to get some pretty decent footwork. But still, even now, I kind of just use my body to bully people out of the way, and just use moves when I need them. So, but I mean, I've always seen like Shaq highlights and stuff like that, him breaking backboards and stuff. Obviously, I'm not that powerful or athletic, but yeah, Shaq was definitely a force down there. So.
Well, that's my last question. My last thing that I finish off with usually is having the guests like talk about whatever they want or whatever is on their mind. So, do you have anything on your mind you want to talk about?
Not much besides how we're playing this season. I think Asbury's doing a really good job right now. Basketball wise, we're 4-1.
Yep.
Got a game coming up, and this has been by far my favorite college basketball season. Probably so far my favorite basketball season as a whole. I feel like this is like my second life playing college basketball, and I wish I would have came here as a freshman instead of it taking me 2 years to realize that this was home for me. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here in Wilmore playing for Coach House, your dad. He's obviously been great throughout this whole process and made me believe in myself again, allow me to play like me again. So forever grateful for that. So.
Well, that's it for my podcast. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and yeah, I'll let you go.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. I hope your practices keep going well, and hope you have a good season.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching y'all throughout the season. I've been to both home games. I don't know if I'll be able to come to this next one because of our practices, but I mean, you're gonna have my support, and the whole team's always gonna have my support. So.
For sure, appreciate it. I'll try to get another dunk for you out there.
Oh, yeah. I love that one. So, yeah. I appreciate you coming on.
Alright, yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Alright. I'll let you go.
Alright, I'll see you.
Alright, I'll see you. That's it for the podcast episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.